I'm back again. I missed your company last week, Katerina. I was poorly last week, but my dear friend, Mr. Ivor M. Ectine, sorted me out and got me back together again. And here I am, 5 days later,
Fabulous.
back on it. So, what's
Yes.
new stateside?
Oh, stateside, we have lots happening, getting fall underway. Um, just lovely colors changing.
Yeah,
Already
yeah,
see some brown leaves on the
yeah,
floor.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody.
And you're
Uh,
busy getting your festival together again.
yes, I'll be doing my festival this year again, the Her Vision Film Festival.
Super. And let's give it a little plug, Katerina. What are
Oh,
the
thank you.
qualifications for joining this?
Well, it's not only for just women producers, writers, and directors, it's also for males who have a screenplay that shows either the plight of women or women with some agency. It also doesn't discriminate if you identify as female. So it's all just really to bring awareness of, being able to be both a feminine presence that has kindness and gentleness, as well as being brave and courageous as a woman in the
Like
arts.
like Jeanne d'Arc.
Exactly. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Well, let's
Yeah.
begin with the news. What's first up, Katerina? What's the first creepy one you got for us?
We got a creepy mansion in Spain, the Locro House. It's said to be haunted since the 16th century, where a woman, Catalina, was forced to marry an elderly man. She was in her teens, and her father, Antonio Locara, wanted to marry her off to this elderly man. So, of course, she didn't want this life for
No.
herself, so she threw herself from the balcony into a well.
Huh.
And thusly, she killed herself effectively. And since she killed herself, she wasn't granted a proper Christian burial. In fact, she was just sealed into a wall. The house became her tomb, essentially. And they say that to this day, you can hear her apparition just screeching in
Oh.
agony.
Yeah.
And she also sometimes manifests in appearance, but that's more rare.
Oh. I
Yes.
see. Well, I tell you, I probably won't be buried in consecrated ground because I refuse to give a certain amount of my income to the Catholic Church, which apparently you're supposed to do in Austria. I think it's the same in Italy as well. So therefore, if the old law stands, I shall be wandering the earth plane somewhere looking for a place for my body to be laid to rest.
Aw. No,
Yeah,
I'm sure you will have heavenly angels coming to greet
yeah,
you for
yeah.
all the good that you do for
Yeah,
people.
but clearly this soul hasn't rested very well, and clearly she wants some kind of closure. So I wonder if anybody is helping her. I can't believe that for all this time you just want to carry on going through that same process of how you died and feeling the pain of the loss that you had on the earth plane. So maybe she might need a little bit of help, and somebody at some point will offer that assistance to her, which would be nice. But I guess more disturbing than this, what's going on with the ice creams? The world's gone
Yes.
insane.
Well, you can eat the rich now, the ultra rich. Like there is this ice cream truck that goes around New York, and it's called Eat the Rich, and they have ice cream pops in the shape of Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk. So one of the pops is you can munch on Musk. And they all taste in all these flavors like strawberry, and they're $10 a pop, so it's pretty expensive to eat the rich
Well, I wouldn't think they'd
for an
taste
ice
too nice. There is a danger here, if anyone knows working with energy. If you start buying, I don't know, a Mike Cavalli ice cream, you will be absorbing Mike Cavalli's energy. So if you buy a Bill Gates and ice cream, that simply because it's got his name attached to it, there's a certain amount of Bill Gates energy you will be absorbing into your body. I think the rich know this, and I think it's a case of, oh great, they're doing work for us. And so I would be very cautious about this. Excuse me. So anyway,
Yes.
it's it gets even more bizarre because we spoke about the cannibal restaurant, and it turns out that this is a fake or satire. But you know what? We need to go into more detail. I'm not so sure that it is a fake. We got spirit cooking and adrenochrome, and God knows what went on Pedo Island with Epstein. So I think I would reserve judgment. And the best form of defence is to come out and say, oh no, it's only satire, blah 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 blah. But
Right,
what do you
right.
think before we move on?
Well, I wouldn't put anything past the food industry because, look, hasn't it been scientifically proven that we ingest a credit card's worth of plastic every year? Like, there's been plastic fibers found in McDonald's hamburgers. So, I mean, would we be surprised by anything? God knows what's in a hot dog, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and it made me think what you were saying with the eat the rich thing. Also, maybe be mindful of putting Monster Energy in your, the energy drink in your body. Then you're absorbing the energy of monsters.
Well, if you look at the Monster label and that graphic that's on there, that's Hebrew for 666. And they've got all other very low vibrational terms like MILF and things like this that they use. It's very dark and kind of satanic kind of drink, and God knows what chemicals are in there as well. But yeah, keep away from that stuff. Incidentally, before we go on to our last show, there was a heavy metal band that back in the days, I think early 80s, when they released their CD, their master tape, which is about 2 inches thick, they cut into tiny little squares and put in each CD, just a tiny square, because they know full well that you're bringing really the energy of that recording, because the disc is like, the tape is like a holographic thing, so it's whole as one, and as a little piece it's still one, and you're bringing that energy into your home with you. So you just got to be very careful with the stuff that you buy. But anyway,
yes.
Excuse me. Final story, uplifting story.
Yes.
Apparently.
Proof of God, proof of Jesus loving us. There was a monk in the 18th century in Luciano, Sicily, Lucano's, Italy. I'm sorry, not Sicily. He started to have doubts about the Eucharist being the actual blood and flesh of God. So he just doubted and doubted, and then one day the Eucharist actually became flesh in front of his eyes, and the wine became blood. Wow. So yeah, and you could still go to this place in Italy today to see it.
Wow. And
yeah.
Was it witnessed, by many people, or just the monk?
I'm not sure. I believe by many, though, because it's still, to this day, you can go visit it. So if it wasn't at the time, I mean, it was during Mass that it happened. And I heard, too, that it wasn't the first time. There's something that also happened in the 8th century. St. Gregory's Mass, where the Eucharist turned into a bleeding finger of Christ.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, we've seen lots of these events. We spoke about the child that's body never decomposed, the saintly child whose body never and was it recently the hand that never decomposed? We spoke about.
Yes, Saint Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is entirely possible, I believe, and we've seen the bleeding cross, or crying, the eyes on the cross. I've also got a clip of where they're saying a mass and the head of Christ on the cross moves. Bit creepy, that, I've got to admit. But you know, you'd have to look into much more detail before you say, yeah, you know, why did this happen? But yeah, I think it's
the
quite.
Stigmata.
Sorry.
The stigmata too of Padre Pio.
Yeah, the stigmata. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of these phenomena happen, and as you know, sometimes I get this cross on my nose when I do a deep meditation. So yeah, everything's possible. The only question is, why do they do it? Why does Spirit do it? That's
maybe to give us some, you know, some assurance that yes, we are taken care of, despite all the monster energy drinks attacking us.
Okay, Katerina, time's up. We're out of time again. Perhaps we should do a show just talking about all of this, just as a one-off. But you're off to Italy soon for 6 weeks, so hopefully we can do some recording there, or do a couple of recordings in advance. So
yes, both, I'm sure.
Yeah, and in the meantime, what are we to do, Katerina?
Stay curious, my friends.